Clearly, kissing is immensely important for our romantic relationships. Can you imagine a Hollywood movie portraying a fairy love story without a few close up kissing scenes? But as you'll learn from video, there's much more to it. Not only does it fulfill a multitude of different functions for the human species and our communities, most animals, even porcupines, like to kiss as well, and with good reason. This video will bring you up to date on the science of kissing, including what we now know about kissing, remarkable effects on our brain and on our health. Nearly everyone enjoys kissing, but most of us rarely stop to wonder why. The answer is deeply rooted in our biology. One of the first physically enjoyable sensation we experience is being nursed by our mothers. The use of our lips comes naturally to us. Babies suck their thumbs even when they are in the womb and purse their lips for nursing as soon as they are born. The very same lip movement as kissing. Nursing is very comfortable for a baby. It usually takes place in a safe and calm environment, so the baby grows to associate soft pressure on the lips with feeling secure and loved. Pre-mastication, the process of feeding mouth to mouth, was the most practical way to feed babies and toddlers for thousands of years, which also biologically linked positive feelings with lip contact. Pre-mastication might sound gross to us in the modern world. However, mechanically mashed baby food is a rather recent invention, so pre chewing food used to be the best way to transition out of breastfeeding. Other animals like apes and birds use pre-mastication too, and it's still used by humans in some areas. The first known written records of the practice date back to ancient Egypt, and one study found that 39 out of 119 modern communities investigated still use pre-mastication for feeding as a part of ritual for various reasons, including disease prevention. Pre-mastication doesn't only deepen a baby's feeling of security, attachment, and love. It also transfers the positive association of mouth to breast contact to mouth contact, further strengthening the emotional and behavioral foundation for kissing that develops later in life. And our penchant for kissing isn't only about feeling love. Find out more in the upcoming section. Kiss like behaviors serve multiple social purposes in both humans and animals. Do you know why we use the letter X to represent kissing? There's a historical reason behind it. Throughout history, humans have used kissing for many different purposes. In the Middle Ages, it was often used to seal a contract. The spot on the contract that was to be kissed by the concerned parties was marked with an X, just like we use X's for kisses in online chats today. We have been representing kissing in this way for hundreds of years. People in the Middle Ages also used kissing to mark social status. Your social status determined where you would kiss someone when you greeted them. When a person greeted a priest, they kissed the cloth of his robe. If they greeted the pope, they kissed his slippers or ring. People sometimes even kiss the ground when greeting a king. This kind of social kissing is common in the animal kingdom too. Nearly every animal species has a behavior that's similar to kissing, whether it's nuzzling, sniffing, nibbling, licking, or caressing. Ground squirrels brush their noses, moles rub their snouts, turtles tap each other's hearts, cats lick each other, and porcupines nuzzle. Bonobos, our closest relative in the animal world, kiss with their lips and tongue just like we do. Whatever kissing method an animal uses, it allows them to exchange information and strengthen their relationships. Researchers will never know their exact thoughts, but it's certain that this like behaviors signal trust and acceptance between animals that use them. Kissing involves entering each other's personal space and exchanging sensations of taste, touch, and smell. Kissing also serves different purposes for animals just as it does for us. A kiss between potential mates might signal a willingness to mate, whereas kiss between family members or members of the same social group means something entirely different. In the film Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes back in time and accidentally intercepts the meeting of his parents by making his mother, Lauren, fall in love with him. When she kisses him, however, it feels wrong to her. It's like I'm kissing my brother, she says. That scenario is fictional, but the biology behind it is real. Every human and ape has a unique scent because of special glands in our neck, face, armpits, and genital areas. And when we look for a mate, we seek out one with a smell that's different from ours. After all, we are more likely to produce healthy offspring with a person who's biological and immunologically different from us. One group of genes that play a key role in our immune system is MHC genes, which help us distinguish our own cells from foreign attackers. The more diverse our MHC genes are, the stronger our immune system. Your MHC genes are a combination of your parents' MHC genes. As a result, two parents with very divergent MHC genes produce offspring with an even stronger immune system. All of this means that we naturally prefer mates with smell, indicating that their MHC genes are very different than ours. Klaus Wiedikind did a famous study of this phenomenon in 1995. He had female participants smell t-shirts worn by different men and select the shirt with the smell they found most attractive. The women subconsciously picked shirts from men with MHC genes sets that were the most different from their own. And this is why it felt wrong to Lorraine when she kissed her son. Even though she wasn't conscious of it, her body could sense that he was too biologically similar to her. He didn't smell like a prospective mate. If you have kissed someone, you have experienced the same kind of high that people get when taking drugs like cocaine. Your brain gets a burst of energy and a natural high when you kiss someone. When you kiss, your breath gets deeper and your blood vessels dilate, which makes you flush and sends more oxygen to your brain. Your brain then releases chemical messengers that make you feel high. Adrenaline, which increases your energy and heart rate, serotonin, which makes you feel relaxed, and dopamine, which makes you euphoric and leaves you craving more. That's why you can come to feel addicted to kissing a lover. After all, kissing simultaneously the same brain regions as cocaine. Researchers have also found that serotonin levels of people who have just fallen in love are similar to the serotonin levels of people with obsessive compulsive disorders. This is probably why we obsess so much when we find a new lover. Your body also releases bonding hormones and decreases your stress when you kiss, which makes kissing good for your health. Kissing releases oxytocin, the love hormone or bonding hormone, that strengthens emotional attachments, especially with lovers or relatives. The effect of dopamine doesn't last as long, which is why your sexual desire for a partner decreases over time. But oxytocin allows us to build relationships that last for decades. Oxytocin is also responsible for the jolts of pleasure women experience during orgasm. In fact, men and women both reach up to 5 times the normal level of oxytocin while climaxing. Kissing also decreases our levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that increases your blood pressure and weakens your immune system. Chronically high levels of cortisol are dangerous and contribute to problems like heart disease, so anything that lowers your cortisol is good for you. All in all, kissing can function like a drug in the short term, but it also strengthens bonds over the long run. You have probably heard of the Kama Sutra, the famous guide to sex, love, and marriage rooted in the Hindu tradition. It devotes an entire chapter to the topic of kissing. Modern science recognizes the importance of kissing just as the Kama Sutra does. After all, it's part of our evolution. Kissing fuels your sex drive and thus makes you more likely to reproduce. Lips are full of sensitive nerve endings that stimulate your limbic system, the part of the brain associated with love, lust, and passion. But interestingly, men and women may use kissing for different purposes. Women tend to use kissing as a sort of test to determine if sex is an option or not. One survey found that 7 out of 8 women wouldn't even consider sex with someone unless they had kissed them first. Men tend to approach things differently, however. Studies have shown that men prefer kisses with more tongue. Some scientists theorize that this because it increases the chance a woman will have sex with them, as tongue kiss transfers the testosterone to the woman. Kissing is a part of our biological legacy. Even though various societies have tried to ban it, it always stuck around. Different rulers and governments tried to outlaw kissing for health reasons, such as during the Great Plague in London in 1665. In fact, a law in South Africa tried to ban children under 16 from kissing as recently as 2008 in a misguided attempt to curb the spread of HIV. The Catholic Church tried to ban kissing several times for moral reasons and because it can lead people toward having sex. None of their attempts were successful. However, kissing is a part of our biology and evolution, which is why it's so fundamental in both humans and animals. It strengthens our social bonds, makes us healthier and happier, help us find suitable mates, and encourages us to reproduce and further our species. Kissing is a lot more than just a nice feeling. This is what we learned from the book The Science of Kissing, written by Cheryl Krishnan Baum. Cheryl is a marine biologist, writer, public speaker, and research scientist. She contributes to NPR's Science Friday and Scientific American and was featured in the Best American Science Writing 2010.